Hi there, it's day 10 of my 365-day Move It challenge, and I think I'm going to call today's reflection Dances with Anxiety. um, I took a 10-mile bike ride with my family today, so that was my movement. We had a rare treat here in Portland. It was beautiful out. It was like 55 degrees and sunny in January, which never happens in Portland. And it was like that yesterday too. And so we decided to get out into it today, and we rode our bikes on the Fano Creek Trail, which is a trail that links Beaverton, Oregon, right outside of Portland in the suburbs, to Tigard, Oregon, another suburb. And we packed a lunch, and my daughter, who is 5, rides her own 2-wheel bike. Once we get on the trail, to get to the trail, we have to travel on a couple of really busy roads. So we pull her in the trailer. We have a bike trailer that holds quite a bit, actually. So it held her and our big lunch sack, because we decided to make a day of it, and also her bike in the back. And it was a really lovely day. And we talked about this yesterday, so we knew that this was our plan for the day, that we would get up, we would have breakfast, and we would start getting ready to head out for the day so that we could really maximize the light. Because even though it was beautiful, it still gets dark at 4 o'clock in January here. And prior to leaving, I woke up this morning with just some deep anxiety. And no matter what I do, I can't seem to figure out how to keep this at bay. Movement definitely helps. Sleep definitely helps. Eating well definitely helps. All those things that we need to take care of ourselves. I'm always struck by how often I don't eat enough food until I'm just completely famished. And then I sort of gorge myself on whatever's in front of me. I drink a lot of water. I take a water bottle with me everywhere I go. And I always have snacks. So I'm kind of constantly snacking, but sometimes I don't sit down and actually eat enough to fuel me. I tend to eat a lot of protein, a lot of vegetables. My weakness is chocolate and pizza. But I eat pretty well. I just don't always sit down and eat enough when I'm teaching. I don't stop to take a break and actually eat. So I'm kind of perpetually snacking in class. And I encourage my students to do so as well. I always say we learn better on full bellies. But today I woke up and I was anxious, and it was one of those things where, and this is hard to talk about, but I was crying for what felt like no reason. I couldn't explain it. I couldn't articulate why. I just feel this, it starts as almost like anger or frustration, and then it just moves to tears. And I wasn't super grumpy with my family or anything. I was keeping all of that. I was breathing deep breaths, and they weren't doing anything to warrant, me being grumpy with them or anything. It's really kind of difficult to explain. I just felt the need to cry, and it was hard to be nice to myself in that moment. It was really hard, because I just want consistency. I'll have these great days or these great weeks or whatnot, and then bam, it'll kind of hit me, and I'm moody and sad, and I don't know why, except to say that that's where my brain is. That's what's happening inside my brain. It's this chemical imbalance that I know can at least partially be fixed by good food and sleep and movement. So that's another part of that's a big part of the reason why I'm doing this. And I'm trying to be really consistent in this movement and committed to this movement while not pushing myself so hard that I am exhausted and I collapse. So I thought, you know, I want to really optimize this beautiful weather and spend time with my family, and we really love to bike ride. My daughter got on her two-wheel bike without training wheels at 4 years old and like took off, and so she is an avid bike rider. She's really awesome on her bike, and she rode like 9 of the 10 miles that we did today. We rode all the way from Beaverton to Tigard and around a little bit more and back. We played at there's a bunch of playgrounds along that trail. We played at all these playgrounds. We played tag. So I pulled her in the trailer on the way home. She's a 50-pound kid with a bike in the back and the trailer, and it's like all uphill on the way home. So I definitely got my cardio in, definitely got my strength training in. But what struck me was how much better I felt after I got out of the house and got outside into nature and moved my body on this bike ride. And it was, I guess what I want to talk about is the notion of letting movement make me more comfortable. That was a shock to me. I've been talking this whole time about and discovering that in order to really appreciate my creature comforts, I have to first get uncomfortable. And uncomfortable meaning like getting up early in the morning and maybe going to the gym and really pushing myself, or doing yoga even when I don't want to, and letting that discomfort sort of resonate so that afterward I can really like snuggle up and appreciate my creature comforts. But today I woke up in my creature comforts. I woke up with my sweet family, and I had a lovely breakfast and a healthy breakfast and, you know, a nice warm cup of coffee. And I was so uncomfortable for some inexplicable reason inside my own head. And I knew that getting out would help, but I didn't realize how much. And I guess I didn't realize that, you know, there were some moments on the trail that really pushed and that were really hard, like pulling her uphill in the trailer and going for such a long time. But really, I just had this sense of comfort, like I was right where I belonged. Like being outside was the exact right place to be. And so it really wasn't uncomfortable. Even in the push, it felt really, I can even say like cozy. It was a little chilly out in the 50s, you know, as you're riding, but I just remember this wash of gratitude, wash of gratitude coming over me and feeling really comfortable on my bike. I've been riding a bike my whole life, and so it's familiar. It's not something like when I get to the gym and there's a new exercise on the strength floor and I'm really watching the trainer and the little video thing that they've got there to try and explain it, and I'm like, okay, I want to do this right, and oh man, this is the first time I'm exercising those muscles, and oh my gosh, it hurts, and okay, but I know this is good for me. Getting on a bike was the most comfortable thing today, and man, do I love riding downhill. God, the feel of the wind in your face, riding downhill, and that freedom, and there's nothing like it. I've always loved riding a bike. And so it really struck me how comfortable I was to get out of my own discomfort that was actually in my head. And so I'm glad that we did that today. It's 9 o'clock and I'm going to bed because I'm going to get up in the morning and go to the gym for the 6:15 class, and then I have a giant CPR first aid training all day tomorrow for my job, which we have to do every 2 years. So that's my story today. 365 days of continuous movement in some way, and I'm tired, but I feel really good, and my brain feels actually rested and calm. All right. If you like it, share it, subscribe. Thanks for watching. See you next time.